Hey, welcome back, my fellow humble investors. It's me, ET, and remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm just a self-taught investor who likes to talk about great companies. In particular, I love talking about Humbl. Now, today's video, we're going to go over some takeaways from the June 30th investors call. We're going to take a look at the price performance for last week, my current positions, and the performance of the ETX experiment that I have going on in block 3 and block 5. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's get to it. All right, what I want to start with is what caught my attention in that investors call. Two things really had me pondering that after the investors call. The first thing was he talked about having $1 million target in ticketing. He wants by the end of the year to produce $100 million in revenue from ticketing. We have 1/4 out of the way. Tickery was producing at about $1 million a month. Chances are that is definitely increased. If he made that a target, he definitely knows that they're generating a lot of revenue from ticketing. Also, he mentioned when it comes to this revenue target, that's the first time we ever heard him talk about a revenue target. Also, he talked about, and that's going to be through ticketing, tickery, and possibly acquisition. So he may have some other ticketing companies in mind. All right. Another thing that caught my attention, it appears, he did not come out and say this, but it appears that we're doing a pivot so far as primary focus from peer-to-peer to ticketing. Not to say that we're going to do away with peer-to-peer. No, I mean, that's the whole gist of why a lot of people got excited about this company. It's just that it seems like a lot more attention is being focused towards ticketing. Remember, peer-to-peer was supposed to launch in the second quarter. Second quarter is gone. We're in the third quarter right now. Still no peer-to-peer, and he states in the conference calls as to why. He also mentioned that ticketing has the best profit margin. I think he said that at least twice, and he kind of emphasized that. Where he's also said that peer-to-peer has a much less profit margin. So he's going after building up the revenue right now. So that's why I say it appears that we may be pivoting. Now, peer-to-peer is still going to be there, and still going to be released. One of the things he talked about was the concerns that he had with peer-to-peer, making sure that they do not fall into one of those categories there. We'll talk more about that in just a second. But also he mentioned that 50% of the revenue resources are being spent on peer-to-peer. So peer-to-peer is not going away. It just seems that right now there's more focus on ticketing to actually gather in and get that revenue started. $100 million by the end of this year? Wow.
Come on now.
That's right. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe buttons, followed by that notification button. That'll help out the channel. Thanks. All right, let's take a look at the other takeaways for the investors call on June 30th. All right, on this slide here, he pointed out that Humbl is one of the most followed blockchain brands out there. And if you look at the other players there, you got Grayscale, Coinbase, and Digital Galaxy. Trust me, when the profits, the revenue starts coming in like I think it's going to, we're going to definitely see an increase in the price of Humbl. Now, on this particular slide here, that really caught my attention here was the digital wallet portion of it, where he talked about the buy crypto and earn interest. He said up to 6%. I think that is a good way to also introduce and integrate that digital wallet into the peer-to-peer function. Now, here he talked about, he gave some of the reasons why they're very, very cautious, and they want to take their time to make sure that all the bases are covered when they release the peer-to-peer. We want to make sure that we're not going to get caught up in any type of aid and wire fraud, money laundering, deceptive credit practices, money transfer violations, lottery scams, phishing frauds, and so forth. So those are some of the reasons they want to make sure all the bases are covered there. He talked about, and he gave his CEO scorecard. You know, he hasn't sold any shares. He's given himself a salary of $1 and all the other stuff that we already talked about. You know, that his preferred stocks are on lockdown until the end of the year 2022. Here he showed a breakdown of the spending and of the revenue that's coming in and what they're spending it on. 50% is going to Humbl Pay, that peer-to-peer. And then you see the breakdown of the marketplace and financials. Now, with any of those, if you look at the bottom of these slides, it has the location where you can find it when you go to the investors call. Now, to get a link for the investors call, all you got to do is hit on that link that I have in the description below. Now, price action for last week doesn't look good. Friday, we opened at 101, closed at 107. The volume on Friday was actually above the 10-day average. And that we see that we had the fourth week in a row that we had a declining 5-day performance. This here is just comparing Humbl side by side with Forwardly. As you know, Forwardly is an indirect play on Humbl as well, and normally their price performance are pretty close to each other. And the shorts is definitely out there. On Friday, the shorts were at 51%. As you know, anything above 20% is high. It's been like that for quite some time now. Now, in Lion.com report, this here shows the 50 most search stocks in the last 72 hours. As you can see, Humbl, I think last week we were number 5, and this week we're number 7. So we haven't been number 1 for quite some time there, but we're still one of the top search companies out there. And this is my current position. With Humbl, as you can see, I'm down 49%, but I still have those diamond hands, guys. I'm not selling nothing. I'm going to continue to build. And as you can see, for last week, I added, 650 shares of Humbl that was added to this portfolio last week. On Forwardly, I didn't buy any more Forwardly. I am topped out on Forwardly. I've got 10,125 shares. I don't need any more. I'm going to focus all my attention now on building my shares in Humbl. Now, this right here is the Humbl Financial, the summary for my ETX experiment. Block 3, Block 5. And as you can see, in Block 3, I'm down 36%. Block 5, I am down 31%. This here gives you a week-to-week performance. As you can see, this week was better than last week, so we start to trend up. Hopefully, we can keep that trend going so that we can get above that initial investment of $1,000. All right, Humbl. Still have declining prices for last week. The shorts are still out there. They're heavy. I don't really foresee much going on when it comes to the price action of Humbl. For me, it's a buying opportunity. I'm going to continue to buy week after week after week after week after week. Now, my ETX performance, it's improving. Not where I want it to be, but it's improving. We have an improvement for last week. So let's see what this week brings. With that being said, guys, I will see you Sunday, if not sooner. You guys take care. Bye-bye.